Yeah, I thought Tech played with a really good edge today. They played with a team. They played like a team that truly, had the gift of desperation. And I think this time of year, um, that's a huge, huge advantage, especially when you go on the road. You have to match that. You have to exceed that if you want to win. I thought, it'll be interesting watching the tape, but I thought we had some terrific defensive possessions, and then I thought we had some terrible defensive possessions. Um, I believe when they went on their run, they scored on either 7 out of 8 or 8 out of 9 possessions. You can't allow that on the road. You just can't. On the offensive end, even though we shot 50% in the first half, I thought the whole game, we were forcing some shots before we needed to. We were not in the flow that we needed to be in to continue moving the ball, and obviously caught up with us in the second half with the way we shot the ball. Need to be much, much better on offense.
Brian, you can start us off.
Shaka, talking about the defense, are you more upset about how Tech got buckets for the first 8 minutes of the second half, or going 0 for 11 on the other end?
Defense, because that's the end that you have more control over. Like I said, you can't go on the road and someone score 8 out of 9 possessions. And that's disappointing. I think for our team, we have to understand that at this time of year, there's really only one reason that's going to allow you to have the spirit and energy and kind of, I'm sensitive to that, but that's the only way, and it's a lesson that our guys have learned before, and it's something that we're going to have to take from this game.
John,
and
go
real
ahead.
quick about the threes. I mean, how do you? Oh.
Go ahead, Brian.
I was just gonna say about the threes. I mean, some of those were obviously bad choices to take. Some of those.
Yeah.
How do you feel about these when Jericho is having success in the middle? The guys are getting touches. They're getting close to the rim, and some of them are just taking some bad shots.
Yeah, I thought it's a double-edged sword. I'm not talking about the end of the game. I did think we forced some threes at the end of the game, but we were behind. But I thought throughout the game, when we did look to throw it up to our bigger guys, we had some advantages. Our guards have really helped us win a lot of big games and made some of those shots. Today, I'm sure we will look at the tape, and there's quite a few that we'll pull off and say, we didn't need that shot with 15 seconds on the shot clock. It's one thing if the shot clock's winding down, but I thought our level of willingness to just keep moving and keep attacking was not good enough today. And, a lot of times it comes from a good place. The guy wants to make a good play for the team, but, we have to – and we've been pretty good with this.
Do you feel like your team is playing like that? Or if not, why not right at this time of the year?
No, I think when a team loses 3 in a row and they're a good team, then that, you never want to lose. But I think it really kind of puts your back against the wall, and, you have to determine who you are. And I thought they had a terrific response today against us. And I call that the gift of desperation. Did we have that today? I mean, it's not necessarily, it's on a continuum. So it's not like you do or you don't, but I didn't think we had it well enough today. I thought against Kansas the other night, our guys' resiliency, resolve, mental toughness, whatever you want to call it, was as good as it's been all year. And you might say, well, do it again, and that's what we say as coaches too, but it wasn't as good today. And there's probably a variety of reasons that go into it. My default is always in order to do that, you've got to be 1,000%
I asked Matt about this before a little bit, and you kind of touched on it, obviously about how important, connectivity is for y'all. When you see guys, because it seemed like not everybody was necessarily on the same page today, they were maybe more disconnected than you would have wanted to be. I mean, how does that, I guess, manifest? Can you sense that? I mean, what's the general atmosphere like for the team compared to when they are, playing that way they want them to be, and everything's revolving around moving the ball? And
yeah, again, it's not necessarily like a yes or no on that. It's on a continuum. And I thought we were probably somewhere in the middle today. But that's not good enough to, come on the road and beat a team that's a really good team that's also playing with what we talked about. So how do you sense it? The look in your eye, the look on your face, body language, the way guys are interacting with each other. One of the things that I think happens when you feel a level of pressure or you feel tense is sometimes you lose sight of just encouraging the guys around you. That's something we've talked about a lot. But I thought, again, when some things didn't go our way, some calls didn't go our way, we didn't have enough of that. And those little things add up. But you also got to give Texas Tech credit for beating us.
I think Tech, it looked like they really aggressively started to almost double and triple team Jericho when you guys did get the ball in there. Do you think that kind of made the guards a little bit shy about getting into the paint and trying to make things happen that way? And as that's going on, what are you telling those guards, to try to get those guys going to get some better looks offensively?
Just keep flowing. We have to flow better into the next movement and the next action. If we can get in the paint, we still feel like good things will happen, even if they do come down and double. Tech does a really good job with hands. They've always been good at, even when there's a mismatch down there, not necessarily allowing you to go score. Jericho's got to continue to improve at just catching and going right up. And that's something that I think he's made progress in, but we've got to keep working with him on it. And then we do got to throw it up to him more for him to go get it. And I'll tell you the other thing, Dustin, that was a big factor in this game is we have to finish some of those plays even when we get fouled. Courtney's layup was big. I think we were down 4. Jericho had a dunk he got fouled on. He's got to find a way to put that away. Kai had a transition play he got fouled on. I think he made 1 or 2. He's got to find a way to put that away. And it's not easy, but those points really add up.
On the Kai play specifically, did you get any explanation from the refs why that wasn't a flagrant? It just looked like there wasn't really a play on the ball at all. It was kind of a dangerous play, it looked like.
I got nothing, man. I thought it was as well. I thought, you have to be careful on those plays because, a guy can get put in a dangerous position. But they ended up calling it a common foul.
Got time for 2 last ones. Chip, go ahead.
Hey, Shaka, I think at one point y'all went 18 minutes without a point in the paint, and your guards, can break people down. Courtney did start to break people down and had a couple nice driving dishes to get you guys back in it. But where was that to start the second half?
We didn't do a good enough job of getting in the paint. I do think, the way Texas Tech defends, they try to keep you on the sides and they really come over and help. We were too slow making the next pass. And I'm sure we'll look at the film and we'll see, hey, if we just make that next pass and then attack, we're going to have an opportunity. But, our 3 guards have had a lot of really good moments this year. We want them to play at an elite level every game. That's a pretty high bar. It's pretty high expectations. We certainly need to be better as a group, and we need to get in the paint more. We had close to a season high in paint touches in our last game. It's something we really, really emphasized the last couple practices. But Tech did a nice job. And again, we settled, Chip. I thought we settled for some jump shots that we didn't need to take. It wasn't like the clock was at 3, 2, 1. It was maybe 15 seconds. So we'll look at that as a team. We'll watch it, and we'll remind the guys just we got to be the aggressors there.
Time for one last one. Cedric, go ahead.
Hey, Shaka, I know you're gonna live and die with those guards. I mean, they got you here, but how do you coach the poise into the others? You got Kai shooting contested threes early in the shot clock. Broad Cunningham shooting sky hooks. I mean, those possessions add up when you don't score on just forced shots like those.
Well, I think two things, Cedric. I think one, just by watching those shots and literally helping guys understand this is what we want, this is what we don't want. The key to that, though, is the situation. It might be an okay shot in a different situation, just not in that situation. But then the second thing is way more important than that. And that is, do you have a clarity of mind to do what Texas needs to do to go score a basket? And do you understand from the coaching staff exactly what that is? Our job is to make sure that they have that understanding crystal clear. I think we've had a lot of really good games where that's been there, and we've done a nice job of that. Today, not as good. And again, it may have been guys are saying, hey, some of my teammates are struggling from the field, so I've got to find a way to get us going. But it still comes down to following our offensive plan, moving the ball, getting to the next thing. You mentioned the word poise. I thought we had such good poise the other night against Kansas, but today, and the comeback was good. The guys really battled and fought on the comeback, but for parts of the game today, we got out of sorts on the stuff that we needed to do. So that's something that we need to coach, and our guys need to understand it's who we have to be if we want to win.
Thanks, Shaka. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.